You went real fast from the first visual introduction to Deepti. You had this like look of astonishment on your face, I think is the best way to put it. And you went real quick from I want to put babies in you right now to I feel like I'm dating my aunt. And I know what
Yeah.
that's like because I've dated a chick before that reminded me of a cousin. And I was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, I mean, people like were ready to bash me for having that feeling, but I think it's a feeling that we've all had in one way or another. You know,
Hmm.
someone reminds me of my cousin or my coworker or like just somebody else, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, okay, let me answer your question. So when I first saw her, I I was thrilled with what I saw.
Hmm.
Okay. So we had formed such a deep connection in the pods and we were so, so close emotionally. And when I saw her with all the like hype built around it, the cameras are all there, the lights, the red carpet, like it's built up so much, you know. And when I saw her visually, I was attracted. I was like, oh wow, she's pretty. Like I'm attracted to this person right now. And all the emotions hyped that up even more. And it was a very pure moment. There was no faking it or anything there. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, but those kind of like hyped up moments, those really high highs, they're not real. You know what I mean? Once, let's see, to know if there's chemistry, you have to spend some time in the lab, right? And so that just wasn't enough time in the lab. Like that was like a 15-minute thing. And then we didn't see each other for a couple days until we were in Mexico,
Hmm.
which is probably another like strategy. Like, okay, like let it build up in their minds and, they want to capture every moment together. So
Hmm.
once we got to Mexico, it's different. Like now we're like kind of almost expected to have this physical connection, right? And the cameras are on and everything else. I'll say this, I guess in past relationships, I've been I've been a little spoiled, I guess almost. Like
Hmm.
the girl I was dating before Deeps, tiny blonde, six pack, like great shape. Um and that was great. I kind of got used to that, so to speak. So once we had this pool scene, there's like really no really gentle way to say this. So like once we had this pool scene, you know, at first I'm like, okay, hey, maybe this is something I can kind of work past. Like, hey, the whole point of the show is to kind of like get past this physical.
Get past what somebody looks like and fall in love
Yeah.
with their personality. I've often said like nobody gets excited about fucking somebody else's personality. Like, I can't fuck a nice personality, right?
Yeah.
But that's what they're trying to get you guys to do, right? Is to fall in love with the personality and forget what they look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically. And I'll tell you this, and I still find her pretty. I still think she's pretty, but like once, you're like, if you're in like say a pool together and
Mhm.
you're like up and close and like feeling each other, your body is going to either respond or it's not going to respond, right?
Mhm.
Like it's not even something you think about because like even then I'm like looking at her, I'm like, okay, yeah, she's a pretty girl, but
Not
we are
enough.
animals. I know they kind of came after me for this, but we are animals. Like we have biologic cues that we pick up on and like subconsciously act on,
Mhm.
and those cues in this case, they weren't there for me, and that's
Mhm.
when I kind of knew pretty fast because that's not something that kind of develops over time.
No, it's there
um
right away.
yeah.
It's absolutely there right away. I mean, often within the first few seconds, when you see them, especially if they're wearing the right clothing and the lighting's good, like you'll know right away.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
You're 100% right. So, I mean, the whole premise of the show was to stick a man and a woman in these pods with a wall between you. And then you kind of like chop it up, like you just sort of have conversations. Um, they showed obviously clips of highlights that they wanted to show. How much time did you guys actually spend in the pods talking to each other in total?
So it was about 10 days, I want to say. And as you kind of moved along, as you made connections, you would spend longer and longer with the people you made connections with. So
So would you
like
like reserve time with somebody that you wanted to see again, sort of thing, and they would put you together with that person?
We didn't have as much control. I mean, we had a say in who we wanted to see, but
Hmm.
there was also an aspect that they were controlling. So like when you went in and you'd hear their voice and you figured out who it was, you'd be like really happy, like, oh, it's my person, or oh, this is not one of the people that I'm super interested in. Maybe we'll just kind of like keep it polite and like hang out for a little bit.
I
But
saw that they kind of put Shane on the spot at one point and swapped out like Natalie for Shayna, and he thought it was the other girl, and there was that big drama that unfolded because of it. Like that was part of the production.
Yeah, I think that was his own fault, honestly, because it's never where you like expect somebody. Like
Hmm.
you know from the beginning that you don't know until you're in there talking to them, and like
Hmm.
part of the fun of it is you go in there, you try and figure out who it is based on their voice, and usually you can pretty quick.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's no like switcheroo that could really happen. I mean, um, yeah,
Did they end up telling you guys to stay away from questions that would lead towards the optics of attraction, height, weight, hair length, hair color, stuff like that? Because I mean, like you were clever about it because you were all like, "Hey, I like music festivals. I like putting girls on my shoulders at music festivals. Would I have a problem putting you on my shoulder at a
yeah.
music festival?" Sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, they kind of said, remember what the point of the show is,
Mhm.
kind of like that. Like it
You're
wasn't
like,
like
"I don't care. I need to know what she looks like."
yeah, I mean, I for both of our sakes, I didn't want to be in a situation where I was so far out of the ballpark of my physical range that like it's like, okay, now it's really a waste of time, you
Yeah.
know? And I tried to say that at the reunion too. I was like, hey, I want to get in the ballpark. I wanted it to work, for the initial stages. I believed in this maybe working and I wanted to give it a fair shot. Looking back now, I'm like, okay, I don't know that, the point of the show was to like clown on people once they, put themselves out there. Now I get
Mhm.
that. But at some point
Entertainment, yeah.
I believed in the show for, what they were claiming.
Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.